All right, just to summarize, before we get into answering their questions, we've greeted them, we've got their name, we've asked them, so what can I do for you? How can I help you? They're telling us that as we're memorizing their name. We say to them, great, Tony, I'd love to sit down and talk to you about that, and lead them over. We taught you how to sit down, and then how it goes from there is like, well, let me ask you a question first before we get started. Okay, that is the segue that we need once we sit down. Let me ask you a question. So tell me your story, or tell me a little bit about your church background. And those three questions, those are listed on the website, so you can see those. The second question we've got, well, back up a little bit. Tell me your story. Tell me about your church background if they haven't already told you that. And then the second one is, how long have you been coming to the Crossing? Good conversation there. It lets you know what they know and don't know and what they've seen and not seen. And then finally is, so what brought you here? What led you here? And maybe you're able to use that for a connection. And then you use the segue to kind of take control of that conversation again and say, well, man, that's interesting. It's a small world. Whatever you need to say. But, I'll just back up and use the first one. So, man, that's exciting. That's some good stuff. That is interesting, whatever sentence that might be. So you're wanting to know how to get into a small group. Let's just go through that right now. And so that's kind of the segue that we make there. Answering their questions. Here are the questions that you will be dealing with. One is membership, becoming a Christian, about baptism, about getting connected into a small group or getting connected into a ministry, or maybe questions about programming. We really want you guys to be able to answer all of those firsthand and know exactly what you're talking about. I want to get into kind of what we do. We all have, in Connecting Point, we'll have these books for everyone. And as I sit down with somebody, then and I ask them, even before opening the book, I'm going to ask them the question. So tell me a little bit about your story and all that. And then as I make that segue to, well, you were wanting to know how to get into a small group. Let me ask you a few questions. And that's when you can go to this form that's in the book and use that as your guide and also get the information that we need in order to help them out. Let me talk first about membership. If someone comes wanting to know about membership, what we need to tell them is, that is awesome. This is a great church, a great place. I've been here for X, and all of this, a little testimony. But then we need to tell them how we take care of membership is through the Belong class. So what we need, we've got a Belong class that's starting in 2 weeks. So I'll just get you signed up for that if that one works. And you're going to check the Belong box. Now, at the top of this form, and you should have that form in front of you, you can see we can get all of this information about the children, their birthday, genders, all that stuff. We really don't need that for Belong class. In fact, this top section that is Belong class, baptism, becoming a Christian, we really just need a name, phone number, maybe email, and best time to call. Because if they go to Belong class, guess what? We get all this information. When they get baptized, if they're coming to schedule a baptism, guess what? We get all that information. And if they want to know about becoming a Christian, and we help them to see that, and it ends with baptism again, that's where we get all that information. So for this top box, really all we're needing is name, phone number, email, and best time to call so that we don't have to play phone tag with them. So if they come wanting to know about membership, then we're going to say, you know what? Great church, great place. I've been here for 20 years. Just amazing to see what God's doing here. We take care of our membership through a Belong class. We've got one coming up in 2 weeks, so I'll get you into that one. And that meets at 10:30 or whenever that is. And so we'll get you into that class. Does that sound okay? I wouldn't ask them, so do you want to go to the Belong class? See, what I'm doing is going, okay, I'm going to get you signed up for that one. Starts in 2 weeks. It's okay to ask them then, is that okay? So you're not just twisting their arm in there to get them into the class. But I wouldn't start with the question. I would sign them up and say, so if that works. But I would be marking that because we do want to get people into that class. And you'll want to write down their name. You might need to ask for spelling and get their last name. You get their information. You don't turn this over to them and say, here, fill this out. You can, but I think I would rather it that way. But, if you do it the other way, it's okay, but it's not the best. The best is for you. You've already met them. You can write their name down. And one thing, when it comes to remembering names, if they give me first and last name, I typically will ignore the last name because that's just too much information. And so you might need to ask them their last name or how to spell their last name if you do things the way that I do there. So if they want to know about membership, we do it through Belong class. Great church. Let me get you signed up. Does that work? Great. If they come wanting to sign up for Belong class, again, you're going to mark Belong and just get their name, address, and phone number. And if they want to talk to you about becoming a Christian, then we're going to basically really put this aside, and we're going to go through the presentation that I'll show you in other videos. And once you've done that and they've left, you can mark becoming a Christian, meaning I talked to them about becoming a Christian. There are some places below that where you can make some notes to say, hey, campus pastor, if you'd follow up with this person, please, or this person is going to get baptized, or whatever you need to communicate. That's enough said about that. We'll get into how we present, becoming a Christian in just a minute. But I think that takes care of it for now. We'll get into that section on becoming a Christian and baptism. Then we'll do small groups, and then we'll do getting into ministry, and then the final section of that. All right? I think that's it for now for this video. Thank you.